More breaking news now. A triple homicide and suicide under investigation tonight in Sunflower County. A mother and her two teenage daughters were found in Drew. 40-year-old Akila Wallace, 19-year-old Kamaya Sims, and 18-year-old Bronisha Sims were found on Joseph Street. A foot pursuit began in Rome to catch three suspects. Two were taken into custody. A third was found with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at a hospital this afternoon. The bodies of all four are being brought to the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's office. Tonight, 3 on Your Side received a statement from the mayor of Drew, Melanie Townsend Blackman, and the Board of Aldermen. It says in part, Akila Wallace was more than a resident of Drew. She was a beacon of light whose vibrant, witty, and uplifting personality brought joy to everyone she encountered.